Welcome to Stephen FM AI, Ireland's Daily Digest. Today, we're looking at three stories that seem completely disconnected. One's about a massive pension payout, another's about a fight over a street sign, and the last is a truly tragic shooting. But as you'll see, they all point to one single powerful theme, a growing crisis of accountability. So let's start with this. Imagine you are owed thousands, maybe even tens of thousands, as part of a huge compensation fund. But you're about to lose every single penny because an important letter looked like junk mail. Or how about this? Picture your local council being so determined to change a street name that they just decide to ignore their own lawyers who are screaming at them to stop. And then there's this, the most devastating scenario of all. Imagine watching your own brother, who is clearly in the middle of a mental health crisis, get shot and killed right on your family's doorstep. Now, these are not just hypotheticals. These things are really happening right now. And when you put them together, they paint a pretty troubling picture of accountability across Ireland. So let's dive in. All right, first up, let's follow the money. We're talking about a huge compensation pot for public sector workers up in Northern Ireland. And believe me, the clock is ticking on this one. The potential payout is just staggering. It's up to £100 million. And get this, it's not for a financial loss. It's for what the courts call injury to feelings, basically for the stress and the insult of the whole situation. And just to be crystal clear, this is not some government handout. This is court-ordered compensation. It all goes back to a policy decision made at Stormont in 2014 that was later ruled to be flat-out illegal age discrimination. But here is the massive catch. Thousands of people are in real danger of getting nothing. A judge has warned that this silent group of about 21,500 people is on the verge of having their claims thrown out for good. And the reason why is just unbelievable. It seems many of them might have simply tossed the official letters, thinking they were junk mail. Now, while that deadline might seem a ways off, the legal clock is definitely ticking. The real risk here is that thousands of people who are rightfully owed this money could miss out, all because a really complex legal process just wasn't communicated very well. So that's a story about accountability for mistakes made in the past. But what happens when officials are warned not to do something and they just charge ahead anyway? Well, for that, we head to Carrickfergus. Over in Carrickfergus, after all the controversy around Prince Andrew and his connection to Jeffrey Epstein, the local council decided, you know what? It's time to get his name off one of our roads. Okay, here's the problem. The council's own lawyers basically hit the panic button. They warned them in no uncertain terms, hey, you guys don't even have a policy for renaming streets. You have to create the rules before you can legally change the name. And this lays out the conflict perfectly. On one side, you've got politicians from different parties all pushing to just get it done now. But on the other side, you have the actual law, with lawyers warning that this could lead to some very expensive legal challenges that, you guessed it, the taxpayers will have to pay for. It seems the council's chief executive has basically just thrown their hands up, saying they'll do what they're told, even though it's causing chaos. It's a huge legal gamble, and it's all because following the correct procedure was seen as, well, just an inconvenience. So you see a pattern here? We've got a breakdown at the state level with past mistakes, and now a breakdown at the local level with new ones being made in real time. But this accountability crisis, it shifts from money and policy to literal life and death in our final story. Right now, in a Dublin courtroom, an inquest is hearing two completely different versions of reality about the day Georgian Kenshaw was shot and killed by Gardaí. Let's just quickly walk through what happened on December 30th, 2020. It started with his family recognizing he was in a mental health crisis. It then escalated to a confrontation with the Garda Armed Support Unit, and it ended with the 27-year-old being fatally shot right on his own doorstep. The inquest is hearing two truths that simply cannot exist at the same time. On one hand, you have Gardaí testifying they were terrified, that they were in no doubt their lives were at risk, and that they had to act in self-defense. And on the other hand, you have his family, who say they were screaming that their brother was sick, that he was in crisis, but that they were just brushed away. Now, this part is really important to understand. The Director of Public Prosecutions has already decided not to bring any criminal charges. So this inquest isn't about guilt or innocence. It's a civil process, trying to answer a different and maybe even bigger question. How do we hold the state itself accountable for its actions? Okay, a government's bank account, a town's street sign, and a family's desperate search for answers. How on earth are these things connected? While they're all stress tests on our core institutions, the pension scandal is about financial accountability for past mistakes. The street sign rebellion in Carrickfergus is about procedural accountability right now. And the Inquests inquest, that's about the ultimate form of state accountability, the use of deadly force. So if you take one thing away from all this, let it be this. Across Ireland, the very systems that are supposed to provide order and justice are under incredible strain. And when those systems fail, it's ordinary people who end up paying the price, sometimes with their money and sometimes with their lives. Each of these stories really shines a light on a different pressure point. I'm curious, which one do you think says the most about the challenges Ireland is up against right now? Let us know what you think down in the comments, and of course subscribe for more explainers like this one. For now, this is Stephen FM AI, Ireland's Daily Digest.